Well, the Dallas Cowboys did not use their franchise tag ahead of the tag deadline, which was expected, but it's the first time they haven't used it since 2017 on a player. Speaking of the tag, Saquon Barkley didn't get it this time around as he'll lead a loaded running back class, and DraftKings actually has the Texans as the betting favorite to land him. Finally, Dalton Schultz and the Texans, 3-year, $36 million.
If you smoke, take it outside. Get the facts at don'tpassgas.org.
This is Extra Innings with Pleasure.
Truth is, I am Iron Man.
Rock and roll! The Texans win it!
You've been called the Da Vinci of our time. What do you say to that?
Absolutely ridiculous. I don't paint.
That ball is history. A walk-off home run.
And it's going to be legendary.
James Pledger wraps your day with insight, opinion, plenty of sarcasm, and of course, your calls. He'll even pour a beer out the door for his favorite story of the day. This is Extra Innings with Pledger. Now, here's Pledge.
Welcome into Extra Innings with Pleasure right here on San Antonio Sports Star, 94.1 FM, sasportstar.com, however you may be listening. I always appreciate y'all riding along with me on this Tuesday night as we head into Joe's favorite day of the week, Hump Day, coming up tomorrow. Of course, you can always watch the show at sasportstar.com or on our YouTube page at sasportstar. So whether you're listening on 941 FM, sasportstar.com, or our YouTube channel, don't forget to smash the like button. Turn on your notifications, and you can always comment with the show on our YouTube page at SA Sports Star. Like Miguel Martinez, who says, "What's up, Pledge?" What's going on, Miguel? Appreciate you tuning in as always. So many ways to take on the show, and of course, any of the shows here on SA Sports Star, whether that be via our audio vault, where you can go check out everything that we've had, like Shereen Williams or Derek Stevens, the owner and CEO of Circa Hotels and Resorts, who joined the Blitz today. Or if you want to catch up with the Morning Huddle with Rob and RJ, you can always go. It is powered by AA Best Bail Bonds, our audio vault at sasportstar.com, where you can also register for our golf tournament. That is right. We are less than 3 weeks away now, as it is right around the corner. And last I heard, we were under 10. So we're in single digits of foursomes available. So once we hit our allotted mark, we are closed and full up. So if you want to register, make sure to go to sasportstar.com, where you can sign up and register for our Spring Golf Classic. It is presented by Flight by Yingling. It is out at the Golf Club of Texas on Monday, March the 25th. It's $400 for a foursome, or if you're a single, $120 a person. So you save a little cash if you get a foursome together. And there's even a shot at $50,000 in a trip to the big game presented by Ancira Auto Group. Of course, once you're done, go party with the Blitz. Jason and Joe, they're going to be live out at 90 Proof Bar and Grill. It's just 10 minutes down the road on Highway 90 at Lucky Ranch. That's the San Antonio Sports Star Spring Golf Classic. It is presented by Flight by Yingling. It is March the 25th out at the Golf Club of Texas. Register now, or if you're watching on our YouTube channel, you can register via that QR code right there, however you want to get it done. We hope to see you out there. I don't know if I'm going to be out there or not. We'll see, but it's going to be very interesting to see what's going on. As you heard in the Sports Center update, Dalton Schultz, 12 mil a year, 23 guaranteed. Dope stuff for the Houston Texans is they take that franchise tag kind of off the table, and they're able to keep one of their own in-house. Others that I know they plan to have worked with, they want to work out an extension with Nico Collins before he actually hits the market next year, and they have to decide on that franchise tag with them. They'd like to get that extension done from what I've heard. Devin Singletary is someone that they would like to bring back at a certain price. Jonathan Grenard, who had 12.5 sacks this year and led the team, and Sheldon Rankins are a couple of the names of players that I know that Houston wants back in the fold for the upcoming season. Frank Valdez on our YouTube live says, "The Oilers." That's right. I've got an old school Houston Oilers sweatshirt on that I ended up getting in Houston. Uh, just a dope color scheme, a incredible logo. I love it. He also said Barkley to the Texans would be fire. He would be. He did not receive the franchise tag today. And part of that means that while he did not receive the franchise tag today, he's going to be a free agent. And he is the top of what is an absolutely stacked running back class, which I don't know what that does for the market. Does that devalue the market? The fact that there are so many available free agent running backs. You've got Josh Jacobs, you've got Austin Eckler, you've got Tony Pollard. You add a player to the mix like Devin Singletary, who will be a free agent and reach the market, it looks like. DeAndre Swift. This is one of the best running back free agency groups. And it's going to be interesting to see what that does to the market, which is already depressed, knowing that there are so many other options available to people. Right now, DraftKings.com has set a line for Saquon Barkley now that he did not receive the franchise tag on what his next possible destination will be. And the betting favorite is Houston, minus 200. It's not overwhelming odds, but it is the betting favorite right now, according to DraftKings. And I'm not one that advocates for overspending at that position, but I look at San Francisco, team with a quarterback on a rookie deal, went and spent the money to get a running back that was paid at the top of the market. But it wasn't just any running back. It was a running back who could do a lot of different things in terms of running the ball and receiving. And Saquon Barkley is one of the few outside of like Bijan Robinson that also fits that mold. And if you look at Houston and Bobby Slowick, he comes from the Kyle Shanahan tree. He is from San Francisco, where he was the passing game coordinator to Kyle Shanahan and D'Amico Ryans. And they brought him and that system along. So do they bring the same mindset of we need a game changer at that position? 3 years on a 27-year-old gets him to 30. And then hopefully will have drafted the next guy by then. Now, I will say, while the running game struggled for most of the season for the Houston Texans, it started to find its footing around week 7 when Devin Singletary kind of took over the job. And he was always the better back in that system throughout the entirety of the season. Would I like to see him and Saquon? Sure. But there are a lot of holes to fill in Houston. And so overspending on that position when Sheldon Rankins is a free agent and Derek Barnett, who were very instrumental pieces, rotational on that defensive line, both on the interior and the exterior. And there is no other real interior threat there. And Sheldon Rankins, one of those guys that came from a Robert Ryans, was an assistant under before taking over in San Francisco when he went to New York. Sheldon Rankins came in, filled that role perfectly. Do they get a deal done with him? There's going to be a hole with Steven Nelson and all of their basically nickel corners, Desmond King, Tavier Thomas, all free agents. So they have got Derek Stingley and a whole lot of nothing surrounding him. There was a massive hole at safety. You had Jalen Petrie in his second year, and it looked like he regressed in his second year. Jimmy Ward was never healthy, and that's been a knock on him throughout his career. And there were a bunch of guys signed off the street to play next to him throughout the entirety of the season. 2 safeties were released in Seattle today, and Jamal Adams and Quandre Diggs. Do you make a splash there? Do you to try and fill that void? Linebacker is going to be an issue for him. You've got Blake Cashman as a free agent. You've got Christian Harris is really the only one still under contract that you've got coming back. Do you go out and get a guy that they were interested in last year that has interest in playing in D'Amico Ryans, who played for him when in San Francisco in Asim? Those are relevant questions. That how do the Texans supplement because remember, Dalton Schultz was one of like 36 one-year deals that they kind of signed this offseason or this past offseason, and that bill came due. So they've got a lot of cap space, but they got a lot of holes too because they had a bunch of guys on one-year deals. So you find consistency with that. Miguel Martinez in our YouTube live feed says, do you think the Texans will make a bid for safety Jamal Adams? Jamal Adams, I don't know. Depends on the cost. Price point's going to mean a lot of things to this team, I think. What's the cost versus the expenditure? And you can argue Jamal Adams is not the same Jamal Adams he was when he was tagged in New York. He has suffered injuries, and he doesn't look the same. As a matter of fact, I don't know if I wouldn't rather have Quandre Diggs over Jamal Adams of the 2 safeties that were released by Seattle. Just personal preference. Goldfinger123 says he has full confidence that the Texans, like always, will draft and consistently find players. And they've done that well under Nick Caserio. Nico Collins, his own guy. Derek Stingley, a guy he drafted. C.J. Stroud, Will Anderson, Tank Dell. Like, they have done a great job drafting players. Brevin Jordan, the other tight end. Jarrett Patterson, Juice Scruggs. Most of that offensive line not named Laramie Tunsil and Shaq Mason were all drafted and developed. So it's going to be very, very interesting. Goldfinger123 says Dallas for sure will flirt with the idea of Adams. Maybe. Remember, Dallas locked up all their safeties when Dan Quinn was here. They signed Donovan Wilson to an extension this past offseason. They signed Malik Hooker to an extension. The one that they're losing is Jaron Kearse, who what I would expect would follow Quinn to Washington. But that is my personal opinion on that. But if they want to continue to run a 3 safety look, I would not run it past them on making a bid for Jamal Adams. But Jamal Adams is going to be looking for the bag. And currently, the Cowboys don't have that bag. Speaking of the Cowboys, a lot of news about culture, Dak's contract, his confidence in getting a new deal done, and basically who lies at fault when they talk about this culture and the issue with the culture that seems to be persisting throughout the media, or is that just a thing of the media's own making? We'll discuss with Rob Thompson of the Join me next right here on Extra Innings with Pleasure on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's the Morning Huddle with Rob and RJ.
Wednesday on the Morning Huddle, the franchise tag has come and gone. Saquon Barkley is ripe for the taking. Do the Cowboys want him? We'll look at free agency as it stands.
The Spurs visit the Rockets on Tuesday night. Did they get win number 3 in a row? And more importantly, did they match NBA history? We talk about it at 6 a.m. on the Morning Huddle.
If you get arrested, get out of jail fast by calling AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121. Text bail to 474747 or online at mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else. Don't be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you one, make sure you understand the conditions before accepting it. AA Best Bail Bonds. Nobody beats their price. They have payment plans. Call 210-225-2121 or mybestbailbonds.com.
License number 149. Now, during Staples Print Big Sale, get $20 off your print purchase of $100 or more, $50 off your print purchase of $200 or more, and $100 off your print purchase of $300 or more. So the more you print at Staples, the more you save. To demonstrate, print at Staples, you save. But if you print at Staples, you save. See how that works? Staples Print Big Sale. Print more, save more. Up to $100. Ends 4/6. Visit staples.com/print for details.
With Progressive's Home Quote Explorer, you can check if you're paying too much for home insurance, because giving you options is the right thing to do.
Oh, you mean like when I let someone with less groceries go ahead in line? Sure, there's a part of me that thinks, if you only need 3 things, maybe go to a convenience store next time. And now they're sifting through coupons and my frozen foods are about to be not frozen.
But still, it's the right thing to do. So compare rates with Progressive's Home Quote Explorer. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and third-party insurers. Not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy.
This is the time of year to enjoy life. Stop letting that pain in your joints keep you from doing what you want this spring. Call QC Kinetics now. QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in regenerative medicine. I'm talking about lasting joint pain relief with no surgery, no drugs, and no downtime. It's a fact. QC Kinetics is literally transforming lives. Their advanced treatments harness your body's own natural ability to restore and repair damaged joint tissue. Pro athletes have been doing
for your free consultation on top quality affordable windows or patio doors for no dollars down, no payments, and no interest for a year. That's right. You don't pay a dime for an entire year. Plus save $359 off every window and $887 off every door. But hurry, these big dollar savings end this month. Text ENERGY to 200-300 right now. Text the word ENERGY to 200-300. Don't wait. Text ENERGY to 200-300.
I have to confess, I was very excited to call 911. Finally, a good one, and I realize that while what I'm about to say is true, it sounds suspicious. So I'm like, my wife fell down the stairs.
From his multiple Netflix specials, comedian Thompson brings his new tour, Come Together, to Frost Bank Center Friday, March 8th. Tickets on sale now at Ticketmaster.com.
It's Jerome, and it's great to be back in San Antonio. Join me weekdays at noon on my new home, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Welcome back into Extra Innings with Pleasure right here on San Antonio Sports Star, 94.1 FM, sasportstar.com. I appreciate everybody out there for joining me as we get you through your Tuesday afternoon. And as I teased, the Dallas Cowboys always at the forefront of the conversation because that's the way Jerry wills it to be. And we fall hook, line, and sinker for it every time. So to discuss the latest with the Dallas Cowboys, including, from what I understand, finding out Dak's favorite color this morning, one Rob Thompson of the Morning Huddle you can catch with RGIII every weekday morning from 6 to 10 right here on San Antonio Sports Star. And your reaction to finding out Dak's favorite color this morning might have been my favorite part of the show.
That's for psychotics. For people who don't know, this is what, a couple of years ago? I had not heard this.
He was on Pardon My Take.
It was okay. So it was a Pardon My Take. If I had known this in his interview during the combine, I wouldn't have drafted him. They asked him what his favorite color is because he wouldn't answer any other question, and he came back with gray. Gray. That's for psychotics.
Oh man, your reaction
Gray.
to
That's not even
that...
a color. That's a shade.
Only thing worse would have been if he said beige.
Well, you know what? At least beige, I go, well, that kind of fits. You're boring. But gray?
Well, I mean, I could see what he was doing with that. To the Dallas Cowboys, and on top of that,
don't try to defend it.
There was also
my daddy always said, "Don't try to make sense out of nonsense." That's crazy. Anyway, I think that kind of defines where we are today.
But he's very confident that he is going to get it. That was the weirdest thing, is the dichotomy of where we were the last time Dak and Jerry were in negotiations to where we are this time with them in negotiations. And when last time, it's my agent, he's going to handle that. I'm not doing anything in the media. You know, my lips are sealed. And Jerry was like, we're going to get a deal done. Don't worry. I'm a guy that, closes deals. And it's completely flipped. Jerry's like, well, if it happens, it happens. If not, we're good with where we're at. And Dak's like, yeah, I'm confident we'll get a deal done. Oh, I may even take a little bit less.
Well, that was the more shocking part of that yesterday. Now, I'm sure you've heard it during the day. He was at a children's cancer event on Saturday or Sunday with Troy Aikman, and the questions came up along with his new baby about the negotiations. And when he said, he was confident that he would get it done, and then talked about the numbers and if it could help the team, I thought that was a radical change from the situation that I thought we were in, because my understanding of the situation is, if Dak wants to, he can hold Jerry to the fire and squeeze this sponge till there's no pennies left, if he really wants to, because the salary cap hit as such, even though it's $85 million, seems like it seems huge. Cowboys won't even match that. I don't know where we are. I'm spinning around. I can't figure it out. I can tell you this: I am ready for Dak to go, and I'm ready for this little experiment to end. Now, it might end successfully. And I think there's a 1-year time bomb about to go off, and everybody knows it. I think McCarthy knows it. I think Zimmer knows it. I think the guys on the team know it. Like, this is the Expendables one last run. Do you want to get paid and stay on a sinking ship? Or do you want to go, or do you want to get while the getting's good? I think we saw Tyron Smith say, I'm out. I don't have enough time. I'm leaving. And I do think that that's the ripple going through the locker room, but I could be completely wrong on this. They have got us turned every which way but the right way.
Now, you hear the comments from both sides and where they are, and it sounds like, by your own words, you're ready to move on from the Dak situation and try and start anew and fresh. And I caution Cowboy fans, because as much crap as Dak tends to take, and it is a very dangerous thought to jump out of a plane without a parachute. And the Cowboys, for a long time, went without. And we can list almost all of the quarterbacks that played between Troy Aikman and Tony Romo before they stumbled ass backwards into a Tony Romo, and then got lucky and did the same thing with Dak Prescott. Remember, Dak Prescott was a project that wasn't even supposed to see the field. This was Romo's year to, finally have everything in place. And not only does he go down, but a week later in training camp, Kellen Moore snaps his leg, and they are forced into playing a Dak Prescott, into which you just happen to luck into. Otherwise, it could have been equally as awful as it was in between Romo and Aikman. And the Cowboys have done nothing, sans trading for Trey Lance, to even attempt to kick the tires on anything else.
Yeah. This is the music. The night is over. The band is played. They're packing up their instruments. It was a good night. We had a good time. I'm probably going home alone, but I had a good time. And I kind of feel like this is it. I don't hold any ill will, and I know I'm going to miss him when he's gone. But the party is over. This hasn't worked for whatever reason. And go with God, Dak. Maybe you will go get a ring. We've sent other guys to go get them. So why don't you go do it too? But as far as my fandom goes, I'm done. I'm done with this part of it. I'm done with McCarthy. Like the guy, but the band is over. They played their last song. We'll see you on the next tour. That's kind of how I'm getting the feel. And I get the sense that everybody's kind of like, well, we could go out, or we could head out to greener pastures like Tyrants the First. And I get the sense there's some other guys that wouldn't be too upset about it. And it might play in to the negotiations that are imminent. So maybe that's why Dak said, you know what, maybe I'll play with these numbers a little bit.
He is Rob Thompson. You can catch him every morning with RGIII right here on the Morning Huddle on San Antonio Sports Star, 94.1 FM, sasportstar.com. The other thing, people didn't, for the longest time, they said the Spurs aren't talked about because, of the way things are, and why can't we get the national conversation? Well, the Spurs have all of a sudden turned into the Dallas Cowboys, and they are leading every block because of one Victor Wembanyama. And now there is the thought process that the national media is already trying to expedite his exit out of San Antonio, that being a Victor Wembanyama, talking about him not being patient and not wanting to go 2 to 3 years, and just the amount of talking heads that are like, you've got to build around him now, because if you don't, he will leave you.
Well, you know what, James? I think that there's that sense, and I think the Spurs need to consistently operate under that assumption. But what I'm getting from Woj and Zach Lowe, who, by the way, less than a month ago chose Chet as the Rookie of the Year. So that being said, when you hear, and Wendy as well, when you hear those guys talking, I think it's more about the Spurs should be better. I mean, there is no reason why the Spurs should be sitting with, what are we at, 13 wins? We're hoping for another one tonight. And I think the magnification got bigger as Wemby has started to get it. The light switches are slowly clicking on, and the three-point shot is falling, and the lanes are opening up, and Devin is starting to understand that you just Robin in Batman's world, and as long as you function that way, it's going to look pretty nice. And Keldon's starting to get a sense. There's prices to be paid for mistakes, and we see him on TV knocking on Oklahoma State, Oklahoma, knocking them out. And we see the Pacer game in an impressive wire-to-wire good win. That the rest of the country goes, dude, 13 wins? What? How did this happen? So I think there's some magnification there. And I do think that the timeline has been expedited because Wemby, the light switches are coming on. And you know what's scary, James, is the new Wemby, which is going to be the 5x5, it's going to be known as a Wemby. You're going to get 5 boxes with 5, and we're just going to call it the Wemby from now on. The Wemby looks easy. It looks easy for a guy who really only is about 65% of the way in to just understand what the hell's going on. It looks easy for a guy that's only getting 20 minutes a night. And guys like Wendy, who followed LeBron and said, LeBron showed up with less talent and they won more games.
Mm-hmm.
They won more games quicker. They had a worse coach. They had less talent, and LeBron put those guys on his back. And
Boobie Gibson
Wemby
was
looked
on
better.
those teams.
Yes, so I think the problem isn't about getting Wemby out. I think everybody's looking around going, Pop, you've done this is your third attack at this. What is the problem, and why aren't you better? You better be doing something, because we're looking at brilliance. You're either in the way or there's a problem inside the room, but you're going to have to fix it. I think it's not about getting – I think that they want Pop and Wemby to stay together. They know what's coming, and it no longer matters where you live. I really firmly believe that. So it ain't about Wemby, where Wemby lives, but wherever he's living, they better be in the playoffs.
And I agree with you, and I would like to also see them not expedite, because the Rockets rushed into expediting, and it looks to have bit them in the ass by going all in on veterans and Ime Udoka, and it hasn't amounted to much, but they don't have a Victor Wembanyama. That's the difference.
No.
And the things that scare me are when I hear people that know the Spurs and know the Spurs way, and you start to get a little bit scared, because yesterday on a panel show on NBA Today on ESPN, Danny Green was a part of that panel. Good old Danny Green talked about everybody wanting this to speed up, and Danny said that's probably not going to be the case.
He may not be patient, but he won't have a choice, because it's really up to Pop and organization. He's going to have to wait. It's obviously his turn, but he's going to have to wait until they get the pieces they can get for him.
Well, there are players around the league who would love to play with him.
And that's Ramona Shelburne rebutting Danny Green, who says Vic may not be a patient guy, but he's going to have to wait, because that's what this is. And at what point do we either trust because we've seen this work, or have we just fallen out of the trust tree all of a sudden?
I don't have any reason not to trust, because look at the product. Look at what Pop has done for Wemby just individually. I think that we have seen vast improvement. The team has improved. Are they under-talented? Absolutely. But if you'd have told me in November that we would look like this, I'd have said, I don't see how. This is the dumbest basketball team I've ever seen. So I think that we are seeing some improvement, but I think even Pop would agree that everything is predicated on Wemby and his speed. And if his speed still requires, games as practice, which is evidently the plan for this year, then that program will continue. But if Wemby continues to show what he's doing, I think that Pop and Bright and everybody involved knows the next step. These guys aren't idiots. They're not going to hold it back like that. They see what's coming. But I do think that because this is not the Spurs way doesn't mean it won't become the Spurs way. This is also the same Pop that talked to LaMarcus and changed his mind about other things. He has softened in his old age, and every team and every player is different. And Danny, you know what? You needed a long time. Not everybody's you, man. And there are others that will look at this and look at the Wemby process and say, well, I wasn't treated like that. Well, no, you were treated differently because you're a different dude. That's what Pop's always done. I'm still not out on Pop by any stretch, but I do think that they need to speed things along. And he's cashed in some receipts with me. The Sohan thing, we'll let that go. You're a brilliant genius. That was an utter mistake. But, even Einstein made mistakes. So, I'll let that pass, but you lost a little bit of credit with me. We do need to move forward and do the things that I know that you've done before and you can do again.
And he did rip the Band-Aid off. To be fair, as big of a failure as it was, he at least gave it the time to breathe to see if there was any moment, because it is hard to go, wow, 5 games in, rip this Band-Aid off. I made a horrible mistake without even seeing if there was any chance at, incremental growth from the position. But he admitted his mistake and he moved on.
Well,
no, I'm just saying Pop, like he tried it, and he gave it enough time to where he's like, okay, this is never going to work. And eventually moved on.
But there were some benefits despite, because Jeremy's a better basketball player now. And I'll tell you, I think the most important combination on the court at any given time are Jeremy and Victor. I think those two are the most important and most in the way that they want to play in this inverted offense where we're going to have Wemby outside a whole lot after that initial entrance. The way Jeremy is able to distribute the ball and kick it to him and be a little bit more of a point forward, there's going to be dividends paid. So there was a method behind a little bit of the madness, but the idea of him being a long-term answer at point guard was obvious early, and he stuck with it longer than most people would have thought. But now, again, we're seeing a little bit of the fruits of that early labor, all that manure piled on, and turned into a pretty nice plant so far.
He is Rob Thompson. By the way, Victor Wembanyama is playing tonight. The questionable tag removed. He will be starting as the Spurs go for their third straight. Be sure to catch Rob every morning on the Morning Huddle.
If anybody listens knows I push segments late. Did you know that the Spurs are chasing a record tonight? Keep your fingers crossed. 120 consecutive games with 20 assists or better. Let's go for the glory, baby. One more and we own it.
Hey, these are things you only hear on the Morning Huddle. I guarantee you they've had this. It's kind of like the 72 Dolphins popping champagne. Like they've had a countdown on this for a good month and a half.
They're taking down the Showtime Lakers from 84-85. That's the last time anybody's gotten to 120 games. It could happen tonight. There's a reason to watch. I hope they're wearing the ugly brown warm-ups to suit the occasion.
He is Rob Thompson. Catch him and RJ every single morning, 6 to right here on San Antonio Sports Star. Rob, thanks for your time this afternoon.
Be cool, James. See you in the morning.
That is Rob Thompson as the Spurs get set to play. Wemby is going to play. What does that mean for the Spurs and their quest for a season-long 3-game winning streak? We'll discuss next right here on San Antonio Sports Star, 94.1 FM and SASportsStar.com.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star Spring Golf Classic is set Monday, March 25th at Golf Club of Texas with plenty of prizes, including a shot at $50,000 in a trip to the big game. Presented by Sierra Auto Group. Go to SASportsStar.com and get signed up. A 4-person scramble, $120 per player to join, or a group of 4 can sign up together for $400. Then, after your round, join the San Antonio Sports Star gang for the after party, where the Blitz will be live at 90 Proof Bar and Grill on the corner of Highway 90 and Lucky Ranch, 10 minutes from Golf Club of Texas. It's San Antonio's Spring Golf Classic, benefiting the Will Smith Foundation. Monday, March 25th, presented by Flight by Yingling and 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
If you're a man and you live in San Antonio or the surrounding areas, you need to pay close attention to what I'm about to say. Are you having issues rising to the occasion? Do you constantly worry about whether or not you can perform? Have you completely stopped having adult time? Is it something you just don't talk about? Guys, we have a solution. Mojo, the 100% guaranteed male enhancement pill that's fast, effective, and was designed to reignite passion, performance, and confidence in the bedroom. Yeah. Be ready at a moment's notice with the Mojo Male Enhancement Pill from Pure Line Nutrition. And for those of you who have used Mojo, check out Mojo Enduramax. Touchdown! A new formula that improves the potency and effectiveness of Mojo. Get fast results, last longer, and be the man she'll never forget. Mojo and Mojo Enduramax. 100% natural male enhancement formulas only available at Pure Line Nutrition. Call now, 210-494-2210. That's 210-494-2210. Or visit us online at thepureline.com.
The La Tap Texas cycling races are back in San Antonio, April 12th to the 14th. Cyclists of all ages, register now to ride in the 100, 60, or 25-mile Tour de France amateur cycling events. You can run, walk, cycle, and celebrate all things Fitness Fiesta at the Athletes Village and Expo. La Tap Texas. Register today at fiestafitfest.com. Presented in part by Thomas J. Henry.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-777-1225. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-777-1225. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-777-1225. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. Call 800-777-1225, 800-777-1225, or biglou.com.
Guys, did you know your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED? And right now, Revive Men's Health San Antonio will check your testosterone for free. They've helped thousands of men since 2011 feel and perform better. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Schedule your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation today. Call 210-615-7777. That's 210-615-7777. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
At GiveMeTheVin.com, we pride ourselves in being America's best car buyer, bringing top dollar for your car with an online process that's fast and easy. But you might not know that we've got a special interest in buying your truck. Luxury haulers, workhorse diesels, or just your favorite pickup truck, we specialize in putting the right money on your truck for longer than anybody. Go to GiveMeTheVin.com today and get your check on the spot from America's best car and truck buyer.
Sell us your car. GiveMeTheVin.com. So easy you can do it in your underwear.
Wendy's new breakfast 2 for $3 Biggie Bundles let you create your own delicious combo. Choose from a sausage biscuit, egg and cheese biscuit, small seasoned potatoes, and a medium hot coffee. But it's obvious which combo's the best. Sausage biscuit and small seasoned potato. Fresh cracked egg and cheese biscuit with a medium hot coffee. Or 2 savory sausage biscuits. Whichever you pick, you can't go wrong. Choose wisely. Choose Wendy's new 2 for $3 Biggie Bundles.
Limited time only. U.S. price and participation may vary. Not available in a combo. Single item at regular price.
Febreze.
Fabric Talk. Hey, it's me, your couch. Today's my favorite day of the week. Febreze Fabric Spray Day. The occasional deep cleanse are nice, but in between, you know I'm needing a refresh. Ooh, here she comes with the Febreze Fabric Spray. Oh yeah, spritz them armrests. Don't be shy. Nothing like a good spray down to get me smelling so fresh and clean. Don't forget my back. Nice. Febreze Fabric Spray. It's just that easy. Now we can both breathe happy. Febreze. La 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 la.
Your home for the Dallas Cowboys is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Welcome back into Extra Innings with Pleasure right here on San Antonio Sports Star, 94.1 FM, sasportstar.com. I appreciate everybody rolling through in the comments section on our YouTube channel. Alexandra, wondering if I'm going to Vegas this time with Minix and Ryan Eagle. I doubt it. I seriously doubt it. Oh, Holt saying Jerry doesn't have much time left. I agree with that. Hitting reboot doesn't seem like something Jerry would want to do. Once again, I'd like to thank Rob Thompson for joining me just a few minutes ago. What say you? 656 ESPN 210-656-3776. Look, the Spurs are in a very precarious place, and Spurs fans feel compelled to get things off their chest right now. And I'm the conduit to you. I want y'all to be able to get things off your chest. Daniel called in, wants to talk Spurs. Daniel, welcome into Extra Innings with Pleasure, my man. What's happening?
Yeah, I was talking to you a little bit about it earlier, but what comes to mind was Rudy. Whenever Rudy was on the broadcast early in the morning, I'll go on a limb here and say that he was swearing that we were going to win 20 games. With everything going on, I think that Wemby and on the trajectory that we're going on, I stand behind him. I think that we can win 20 games. And I know that we have a whole bunch of this nonsense going on behind us, but it's all a part of the growing process.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people will say, in Pop we trust. I grew up here watching the Spurs from when Robinson and Duncan and Ginobili and Tony Parker, and he never let us astray. So I would say I think we're on the right track. We just have to hold the faith, right?
Hey,
and I will put money on the table. I'll put money on the table the way that Rudy did, that he thinks we're going to win 20 games. I still believe that. I will put money on the table and say that the Spurs will get to at least 20, 22 games won by the end of the season.
I appreciate the phone call.
It might not be what we're looking for as fandom, but it's a step forward, right?
Yeah, and I appreciate the phone call, Daniel. You're welcome to call back anytime, 656-ESPN, 210-656-3776. And I will tell you, I had them projected at, I believe it was over 33 wins this year and fighting for a play-in spot and possibly an 8 seed. I was horribly wrong. And it is hard to fathom how bad this team's record is despite the greatness to which Victor Wembanyama is playing. Like, it doesn't make sense. And it's hard to rationalize. But the Spurs are set up for success. They have draft picks. They're going to have a high one this year because of how the years turned out, for possibly a piece to pair with Wemby and Vassell to grow on that same timeline. Then you can, 2025 is talked about as a massive year for a draft. You draft someone there, you own Toronto's pick, like you could really set up a great foundation, and then players like Keldon or whatever and future draft capital, which will play a key component, the way that like Oklahoma City turned Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. They went and brought him in. Everything else has kind of just been built through the draft. You can look at the Indiana Pacers. They've kind of done a similar thing. Going out and getting the huge name doesn't always work. See the Dallas Mavericks going and getting, see the Phoenix Suns going out and trading everything for Bradley Beal. It hasn't worked to this point. There is possible buyers. Look at Brooklyn. Brooklyn was thought of after they went and got Harden and Durant and Kyrie, that team was going to be the team to beat in the East. They never even saw an Eastern Conference Finals, and the team blew up and imploded in like 3-4 years. Look at what Dame Lillard's doing in Milwaukee. Now, they've gotten hot of late, but it's been a struggle early in the season. It's gotten a coach of theirs fired. So trying to build quickly doesn't always work out. And I just caution the throw everything to the wind to go get everything that you need in this particular instant. And tonight's opponent is a good barometer for that. The Rockets kind of went all in free agency this offseason. They're like 12th in the West. It did them no good. Now, they don't have a Victor Wembanyama, but the pieces have to fit. And that's part of what goes on. This is Extra Innings with Pledger. I am James Pledger right here on San Antonio Sports Star 94.1 FM, sasportstar.com. Do the Cowboys have a culture problem? Dak Prescott doesn't think so. As a matter of fact, it irritates him that you think that. We'll discuss whether there is a culture problem and who's at the root of it. Coming up next right here on Extra Innings with Pledger on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's the Morning Huddle with Rob and RJ.
Wednesday on the Morning Huddle, the franchise tag has come and gone. Saquon Barkley is ripe for the taking. Do the Cowboys want him? We'll look at free agency as it stands.
The Spurs visit the Rockets on Tuesday night. Did they get win number 3 in a row? And more importantly, did they match NBA history? We talk about it at 6 a.m. on the Morning Huddle.
Drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds, which could be life-changing. I mean, you could put that money towards that zero-turn lawnmower you've always wanted. And after using its edge-shaping technology to meticulously sculpt the face of the Mona Lisa into your grass, you'll become the undisputed king of Saturday morning lawn care, leaving your neighbor and sworn enemy Gary to question his place in the delicate neighborhood ecosystem. And it's all because you could save money switching at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states.
People who come to Cricket stay with Cricket, just like our customer Jaron. I'm the singer and guitarist in a band, and I use my Cricket phone for everything. It's basically like another band member.
Don't miss a single beat. Switch today and get a free Samsung Galaxy A14 5G. Smile, you're on Cricket.
Real customer paid for testimonial. Must bring your number to Cricket on up to a $60 a month voice plan depending on device. Select models only while supplies last. First month service charge and tax due at sale. Cricket 5G requires a compatible device and is not available everywhere. Fees, terms, and restrictions apply. See store for details.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
Hormones can affect everything. Bad skin, bad hair, low energy, poor sleep, brain fogginess, libido, and weight gain. I'm Dr. Torres at the Institute for Functional Health, and we take a functional approach to your hormone problems. Eating right and exercise will not be beneficial without optimal hormone function. This goes for men and women. We do state-of-the-art testing to get to the root of your hormone issues and help you get well and stay well. I'm Dr. Torres at the Institute for Functional Health. We can help. 210-468-1891.
Texting enrolls you in recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym for a while.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone.
Lower T.
Yeah, I went through it a while back. Once you hit 40, your body has less free testosterone. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that ad on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The patented key ingredient is something called Testofen, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again. At work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text.
Text Sizzle to 42424 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T, the #1 selling testosterone booster at GNC. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast. Absolutely free. Text SIZZ for.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6759. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. There is zero risk to you. If we can't reduce your tax debt, then you pay nothing. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have a 5-star rating on Google and Yelp and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6759. That's 800-575-6759. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
This is Andrew Monaco, and the Aggies play here. 94.1, San Antonio Sports Star.
Welcome back into Extra Innings with Pleasure right here on San Antonio Sports Star, 94.1 FM, sasportstar.com. I appreciate everybody for rolling along with me tonight as we take you up to 7 o'clock as the Spurs get set to take on the Rockets in Houston, going for a 3-game win streak. And as Rob Thompson alluded to earlier, going for the record of most consecutive team 20 assists games, breaking that of the 84 Showtime Lakers. Woo-hoo-hoo! Is there a culture problem in Dallas that's been talked about a lot this offseason? Dak Prescott, he don't like that you're talking about it.
Yeah, the culture's high, honestly, and the culture's great from my standpoint. And I say that in the sense that I actually don't know what all talk's been said, so I don't want to go into I don't know, good, bad, or whatever. I've heard some, but I can't. You guys know, if anybody, I'm not the one listening, and I'm trying not to. So, but my point is, yeah, that's something I've always bragged on and took pride in. So if there's questions of that, concerns on that, I feel attacked. I'm sure some guys in the locker room do. But at the end of the day, it's a business, and the way that this business plays out, people don't get exactly what they wanted. There's always sourness, I guess you can say, somewhere. And so, yeah, I don't want to make anything bigger than what already comments have had.
It's a business. And for one person, business is booming, as RG3 says, where the root of the culture problem comes from.
I think Dak has proven that
he can be the quarterback for the Cowboys to go win a Super Bowl. I think he played at an MVP level the majority of the year last year. So Dak Prescott isn't necessarily the issue. The issue is Jerry Jones and the culture that he has created there for the Dallas Cowboys. If you really think about this, that star on the helmet has become more notorious for getting guys into big broadcast positions post-playing career than it has for them to win a Super Bowl on the field in the last 25, 30 years.
Now, I've said this before. It all starts at the top. And there are multiple issues to culture. But when it starts at the top, when your owner, general manager does a weekly, bi-weekly hit during the season, and the head coach and players have to respond to things that he may have said in the media, which furthers the narrative of keeping them in the media cycle. Yeah, Jerry, you're the tip of the spear. It all starts there and comes downhill. Now, do I think it's a massive culture issue? No, but there is a system to bypass the structure to get what you want for players of a certain ilk that don't have to go directly to their coaches or position coaches. They can go to the top of the spear and bypass everything to get their way. And it's happened in that building before, and it leads to what you have, which is a bunch of people looking out, like Micah Parsons, who has his own weekly podcast now, to where everybody's always answering questions about something somebody else always said. You don't get that in San Antonio, where they basically shut themselves off from the media and things stay in-house for the most part. It's got to change. I don't know if Jerry wants it to change because, as Dak said, it's a business. I appreciate y'all. This has been Extra Innings with Pleasure right here on San Antonio Sports Star 94.1 FM. Y'all have a wonderful night. We'll holler at you tomorrow.
Have you gotten your hands on Southern Recipe small batch pork rinds at HEB yet? Southern Recipe small batch offers big, bold flavors like hot honey, spicy dill, and sea salt and cracked black pepper. Bonus, you're going to love the low-carb, high-protein crunch. Turn snack time from ordinary to extraordinary with flavorful pork rinds.